We finished with the Old Testament. We are going to look into the New Testament today about the study on pride. Now, in the New Testament, there are many things to talk about pride, but I have just taken 4 that summarizes the whole thing about the pride in the New Testament. So we are going to look at 4 points today and then go home. Okay? So 4 points we are going to look into. And so we are in the study called Pride, Part-3. All right. So we looked at pride. When pride comes, what comes? Arrogance comes. Pride leads the rich to persecute the poor, or anyone who is above the weaker one. And the wicked are prideful people. Pride is seen on the face. And people with pride don't seek after God. Right? God promises that He will cut off those who are prideful. God does not respect the proud. We read in the Bible says that pride surrounds their life, and the output of that pride is violence. Pride brings violence. Because of pride, people fight. They beat. They cause atrocities. The humble people will always continue to follow the Lord no matter what happens in their life. When there is humility in the heart, we will follow the Lord. We will follow what the truth is, what the Bible is. The prideful people takes offense immediately and they stop following the Lord. Then we see that the prideful people, or proud, is kept away from God. The one who fears God hates pride. Right? One who fears God will hate pride. You know who is a humble person? Who is a humble person? Let me hear from you. What do you think about a humble person? Who is a humble person? Example. Like, what do you think? Like, this is what humility is. Who is a humble person? I'm not asking for an individual. I'm asking a character. What is a humble person? Can you think about anything? Serving? Being sorry? Yeah.
Who doesn't have pride?
The one who doesn't have pride is humble. That's right. Who is a humble person?
Always polite.
He is polite. Yes. Helpful, kind. See, when election comes, everybody is helpful and kind. but the humble are helpful and kind. Okay. Anybody else? A humble person is one who thinks he is proud. You understand? Keep that in mind. A humble person is the one who thinks he is proud. You talk to a proudful person. Are you so proud? Hey, no, I'm humble. A person who thinks he is humble is prideful. We all have issues, okay? You talk to a person who is angry. Why are you angry? I'm not angry. Right? Why are you so proud? No, I'm not proud. A humble person knows that he is proud, and a prideful person thinks he is humble. That's the definition of pride and humility. Always remember that. Alright? Pride comes with shame. Pride always brings shame. Immediate decisions. Pride comes with contentions. There'll be war and fight, arguments. Because of pride, I'm better than you. Proud man's mouth is a rod of pride. God will destroy his house. God will destroy the house of the proud. A proud man or a proud woman is an abomination to God. And we all know this. Pride goes with destruction. Pride man will fall low. The one who exalts himself will be abased. Proud lives in deception. He deceives himself because he always thinks he is better than others, right? Or he has a false humility. Now, today we are going to look at 4 things in the New Testament about pride. Now, Jesus spoke about pride. Paul speaks about pride. Peter speaks about pride. James speaks about pride. John the Apostle speaks about pride. And there are so much to study about pride. But we take 4 points out of the New Testament and summarize the whole thing. So for that, let's turn first to 1 Timothy chapter 6, verse number 4. First Timothy chapter 6, verse number 4. Someone read?
He is proud, knowing nothing, but doting about questions
Yes.
and strife of words, whereof cometh envy, strife,
Wow.
railing, evil surmising.
That's right. The proud man knows nothing. Remember that. Proud man knows nothing. He knows nothing. But he thinks he knows everything. But he knows nothing. You know, as a pastor or just as an individual, I have the opportunity to go and speak to so many people, and people with different characters and different attitudes. And when I try to share the gospel with them, if they are humble people, I see that they listen, they accept, they know that they need help. But then there is another group of people who are proud, who thinks they are good, they are not bad. They think they'll go to heaven because they don't do anything bad. And they think that they are good. And God's word says no one is good. So a proud man knows nothing. There's only one who is good, and God is good. Amen? And so proud man knows nothing. He is proud, knowing nothing. But what will happen? He will try to argue. Knows nothing, but argues. For the sake of argument. For some reason he thinks he is a Socrates or is some kind of a philosopher. He start arguing. And then, arguing, what he does? He brings doubting about questions. Unnecessary questions. Good questions are healthy. Okay? Doubting with questions. Just to prove that he is somebody and he knows everything. Unnecessary questions. Okay? But knows nothing. Then the Bible speaks about strifes of words. Strifes of words. So basically there will be words, fight with words. It's all because he knows nothing. When a man knows nothing, this comes out of him. Argument, doubting, strifeful words. Cometh envy. What is envy? A bad, ungodly jealousy. Envy is not jealousy, but on a modern level, if you want to say about what is jealousy, is ungodly jealousy. It comes out of flesh. That's called envy. Why is that person having better than mine? Why is that person better than me? Why is he having what he has? How come I don't have? Okay? Why is she better than me? Why is he better than me? Why is she richer than me? Why they have all these things? Why everybody else loves them and not us? Envy. So in modern term we may say jealousy, but jealousy is a good word biblically. In the Bible, jealousy is a godly jealousy. Paul speaks about how he is having a godly jealousy with the brethren because of how much they love God. So basically a husband has jealousy over his wife, and he has to. Okay, and so he is protective, possessive about his wife. And the Bible speaks about God is a jealous God because he loves us. So a godly love comes with jealousy, and if there is no jealousy in marriage, there is a problem in marriage. And so there will be a jealousy between a husband and wife for each other. But envy is not healthy. Envy is coming from the devil. It's flesh. It's like, why you are better than me? Why you have everything but not me? Why are you so this and that? How come I don't have that? And how come I am not like that? And that comes because when a proud man knows nothing, but he thinks that he deserves everything. But a proud man knows nothing, and so he argues, dotting with questions, stripes of words, he fights, and then he has this envy in his life. So remember, there's a difference between jealousy and envy. And jealousy is fleshly, comes out of flesh. Why is you better? Why you have everything? Why is everybody loves you, not me? Envy comes out of flesh. Okay? And jealousy is a godly one. It's a beautiful thing. Jealousy is a good thing. You carry a little child in your arm, your own child. But that if you carry someone else's child, your own child has a jealousy. Why is my mommy carrying somebody else's child? Have you noticed that? They immediately want that child down. They want the mother or the father to lift them up. And that's a good jealousy. That's not bad. That's a godly jealousy. That's a good thing. And the same thing between husband and wife. God himself says, I'm a jealous God. Alright? Then we have, so this comes, and then what happens? And then we have railings. What is railings? Railings are just unnecessarily slaughter people's character. Assassinations. Okay? Railings. And then we have evil surmising. What is evil surmising? Simply thinking bad about the other person in your mind when the other person has nothing against you. Evil surmising. And then you take things, the more you speak about the negative about other person, then even that person is a right person and a good person and a godly person, but in your mind you have programmed your mind to think bad about the other person. But it happens because you are proud and knows nothing. So evil surmising starts. This is like that. It may not be true, but you make your mind to think it is true about other person. This person said about this to me. This person is bad about because he did this. He might have not done, but you are thinking. And that's called evil surmising. Thinking bad about a person even when it is not true. Okay? Then the second thing is, so, proud man knows nothing. Nothing. There is a guy called Sadhguru. I'm sure everybody might have watched at least one of his video. Not everybody. Most of you. At least one of the video, right? Today the most easiest and the famous way and the easiest way and the best way is to become famous is make no sense to anybody. You understand? Make no sense. Wear a nice cassock, whatever color chalega. Put a turban or a cap. Wear a long chain around, whatever, whether it's rosary, whether it's a chanting chain, whether it's any kind of, praying ball, whatever, put it there. And don't preach like the preacher preaches, but use soft words. My brothers and sisters, God is love. And you speak smoothly, slowly, and think. To say one sentence, you can use 3 minutes. And you can become easily, because today the world wants soothing words. That's what the book of Isaiah speaks about. Don't prophesy truth to us. Prophesy soothing words to our ears. So this guy, Sadhguru, basically is so famous, right? It almost looks like he makes sense about everything on earth. He knows nothing. People are asking him, do you believe in Jesus Christ? People are asking him, do you believe in heaven? Do you believe in life after death? Do you believe in hell? He believes nothing. He says he believes nothing. He's openly, but that's what people want to follow and listen. He said, I did not read Bhagavad Gita. He said, I never read Ramayana. He said, I never read Vedas. He said, he never prays. He said, he never does chanting or tantra or mantra. He does nothing. He openly speaks about it, but he has the greatest followers. Because what he says makes no sense. And that's what people want today. When nothing makes sense to you, you think, that guy is really great. Because see, we don't understand what he's saying. He must be saying something great. That's why some people use big words. So that people may think this guy is great because he uses big words, even though it doesn't make any sense. Proud. So someone says, he said, why do you worship Jesus? Because of some good work, people crucified him. That's why we worship. On the cross, he said, Father, forgive them. Because he said, Father, forgive them, that's why we worship Jesus. Do you worship Jesus because of that? Because on the cross, Jesus said, Father, forgive them. In the temple, he blasted them. So a man who knows nothing, but that's what pride, That's what, and when you really corner him, this comes out of Sadhguru. Evil surmising, everything is evil surmising. He thinks it's right, so he says, and the whole world is fascinated with what he says because it makes no sense. Proud man knows nothing. But this world wants nothing. Because they believe everything came from nothing. But nothing can come from nothing. Something has to be there for nothing to come. Right? Can nothing come from nothing? No. Everything came from something, and that something is someone, and that's God. Amen? Now look at this. Perverse disputing of men, corrupt minds, and destitute of truth, supposing that gain is godliness. See, look at, we have so much wealth. That means God is with us. Supposing that gain is godliness, and then God says, from such withdraw thy. So get out from such people. But godliness with contentment is great gain. Godliness with contentment is great gain. Be satisfied with what you have. Seek God more. More of God, less of me. Yesterday I read about a great preacher, Spurgeon, preaching about, and this is what he said. Let me read that for you. This is what he said. And he said, hold everything earthly with a loose hand. Hold everything that is earthly with a loose hand, but grasp eternal things with a death-like grip. That which is eternal, hold it like death grip. But that which is earthly, hold it with a loose hand. But that is not how we do that, isn't it? We hold the earthly so tight, we don't care about the heavenly. We make heavenly things secondary, substitute. That is not how Christians should be. But godliness with contentment is great gain. So, yeah, proud man knows nothing. Let's go to the second thing now. There's so much. If I can just keep going, the whole chapter is about it. Look at James chapter 4 now. James chapter 4. Got it, everybody? All right. And look at verse number 6. Your 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 4, James chapter 4 verse 6. Come on, someone read. James chapter 4 verse 6.
But he giveth no grace. Wherefore he said, God resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble.
That's right. God resisteth the proud. When we are not obedient to God, God will get rid of us. Okay? Disobedience to God means prideful. Not everybody will be disobedient. When we are willfully disobeying, it's because of pride. At any cost, at any time, at any stage of life, disobedience to God's word is because of pride. Now, of course, and God's word says when a person is proud, he resists him. What does resist mean? Keep him far away. The Bible speaks, no, draw near to God and God will near to you. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. Okay? And so God also resists. We as Christians should resist the devil, and God uses the same word. He treats the proudful person like a devil. Just away. Stay away. And that's something that we all have to deal with different. There are times that we have pride. The day you think you are humble is the day that you are more proudful of yourself. A humble person will never think he is humble. Remember that. A humble person will always be hating the pride that is in him. A humble person will never think he is humble. In fact, he will be always conscious about the pride in his heart. All right. The third point we will go to 1 John chapter 2. First John chapter 2. Look at 16. First John chapter 2 verse 16. Yes, First John chapter 2. Where's chapter 2? Where's the 2? Here, 2:16. Here. First John chapter 2 verse 16. Someone read.
For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes,
Yes.
and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world.
That's right. For all that is in the world, that means worldly system, worldliness, fleshliness. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, lust of the flesh, lust of the eye, and the pride of life. Lust of the flesh, lust of the eye, and the pride of life. There are only 3 variations of sin in this world. The tri-unity of sin. Okay? There is one sin in 3 different formats. Sin is sin. Whether it's big or small. Whether it's telling lies or fornicating. Whether it is stealing or it is lying. Sin is sin. You take a big rock and you take a small stone and throw it in a well, both will go down deep. Right? Sin is sin. But this sin has 3 variations. In every sin that we commit it for this reason. Every sin that we commit, we don't commit sin because of ignorance. We don't commit sins because I'm good. We don't commit sin because we are humble. We commit sin because of this 3 things. Lust of the flesh, lust of the eye, and the pride of life. Now in the Garden of Eden, there was a tree. The tree of knowledge of good and evil. God had told Eve and Adam, enjoy everything, eat everything, enjoy, this is yours. But you know what? There's one thing there. From that tree, don't eat. Now God gives whole everything. But from that tree, God is saying only one tree, everything else. There are so many other good things. But that you don't take. But Satan goes there. And when he goes there, when Eve goes there, Satan is waiting. And Satan tempts Eve. Says, hey, you know what? Look at this. You must be hungry. I'm just putting it, okay? I'm just putting like what conversation might have happened. You must be very hungry, right? I know there are a lot of good food, but this fruit will be tasty. Look how shiny this is. And I'll tell you what, if you eat, you'll be like God. You'll be like God. It's good to eat, pleasant to the eyes, the Bible says. Lust of the flesh. Wow, it looks great. Awesome. It really looks nice. Everything that glitters are not gold. Like, wow, it looks good. And it will be tasty for it. I'm hungry. I will satisfy my hunger. Lust of the flesh. Pride of life. I will be like God. And these are the sin that we all commit. Everything, whatever we do, whatever sin that we commit for these 3 reasons. Lust of the eyes, lust of the flesh, and the pride of life. Power, control. It's good. It helps me, makes me good, makes me happy. Look, it looks nice. Everything. You can put all kind of sin and connect in that 3 dots. It's all about pride of life. So I will be something. I'll get to enjoy this. I get the power over this. I get the control over this. That's pride. Pride of life. And because of the pride of life, these things happen. The lust comes. And finally today, as we finish it here, 1 Peter chapter 5. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse number 15. 15? Not there? 5. Chapter 5, verse 5. Say, I'm so humble. I didn't make mistake. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 5.
Likewise, ye younger men,
Likewise, ye younger men, what do you do?
submit yourselves.
Is that easy? Do you like it? No. Why should you tell me what to do? Right? Son, obey your father. Student, obey your teacher. Church, obey your pastor. I can do everything. But when it comes to church, it's a different level. 1 Peter chapter 5, verse 5. Likewise, younger men,
Submit yourselves unto the elders.
submit yourselves unto your... You know what is submit mean? What is submit means? Submit is you write exams and you submit your paper, isn't it? Once you submit the paper to the teacher, what happens? It's totally in teacher's control. After giving the question answer paper, after writing your answers, you give your answer sheet to the teacher, right? After 5 minutes, you remembered the answer because you looked, you did some exercise. You looked around, you came to know, okay, this is the answer. I forgot. Then you go to teacher and says, ma'am, please, I remembered one answer I want to write. Will you get it back? No, you will not. You already submitted. Now it's under control of the teacher. Now that's it. That's what submit means. You give over your control to somebody. And so you submit to your father until you're a man. You submit to your teacher when you're school. You submit to your pastor until you go to the grave. Now that's difficult, but that is what Bible speaks about. Read. Likewise, ye younger, submit yourselves unto the elder. Then he closed his Bible or what?
Yea, all of you, be subject one to another.
Yes, see? All of you be subject unto one to another. Means be responsible one to another. Be accountable. See, when there is no accountability, then we think we are the boss of our life. And then what happens? Boom. We ruin our own self. When we become the boss of our life, we will enjoy for a season. And then every day we are destroying our life. When there is no accountability, there is no account. When there is no account, what happens? No money. When there is no money, no honey. And no honey, everything is gone. Right? So accountability is needed. You've got to have somebody that you are accountable to. And so the Bible says, one to another, you submit one to another. So be subject one to another and
Clothed with humility.
And be clothed with humility. And in the same verse, read.
For God resisteth the proud
Yes.
and giveth grace to the humble.
There is benefit of being humble. There is a loss for being proud. And same verse speaks about this. So there are how many attributes are there? There is humility. Okay? Humility. Then proud. Grace. 3 attributes in that verse. And there are 3 subject in that verse. Younger men, ye younger, not men, younger. So young people. Okay? Then submit yourselves to the elder. Because there's safety when you submit. When you submit to your husband, when you submit to your wife, when you submit to your children, there is safety. So subject one to an elder, all be subject one to another, each other. So everybody has someone with whom you can be accountable to, and then we have God. And God is the rewarder and He's the judge. So God says, you young, you submit to elder, and you all submit to each other. And God says, based on this, I will resist the proud and I will give grace to the humble. I will give grace to the humble. So what is the best thing to do? The best thing is to ask God to keep us humble. Now here is another problem. When you start praying to God, Lord, please make me humble, God will use situation to humble you. And then we, instead of knowing that God is using the situation to humble us, we'll start complaining and says, why people are hating me? Why is that person doing this to me? Why did she say this to me? Sometimes God will use certain situations in our life to keep us humble. Either someone's words, either someone's actions, either some humbling experience. God, many a time people will pray, oh God, please use me. And then God starts using them. But before using, He starts working on their life. And when God begins to use, and He starts working, it is painful. It is painful. A sculptor or an artist cannot make a beautiful art without breaking the rock, isn't it? He has to take the chisel and a hammer and break everything that is not needed. And that's painful. It's a slow process. But once the all unnecessary thing is removed, then that stone which was shapeless has come to a beautiful sculpture now. And that is exactly what God does in our life. When you say, Lord, please make me humble, He will use situation to keep you humble. And when that happens, don't be angry, but rather use that as God's ways of working in our life. Okay? So, may the Lord help each one of us, you and me. We all need God's grace to be humble. So we can be accountable to each other. So we can be humble. All right? Let us pray.